Welcome to our project on team-based organizations. We're going to start off with explaining the topics. We're going to go to the upsides, then the downsides, and then we're going to make some recommendations on when it could be used. A team-based organization is one that doesn't have one big boss that's in control of everything and making all of the decisions. As the name implies, the organization works through teams to complete their major goals. Each team has smaller goals. To describe how this came about, I'm going to go ahead and read this quote. Companies are realizing that top-down formal reporting hierarchies and silo-based organizational models are the anathema to innovation and growth. Something new was needed for management, and team-based organizations employ not the authoritative, but the collaborative approach. Major characteristics of a team-based organization is trust, because you need trust in order to let people govern themselves. Empowerment, goal setting, autonomy, team accountability, and shared leadership. Having self-government and trust from higher company leaders is essential for a team-based organization to function properly. This quote demonstrates one of the problems that arises when we don't give enough freedoms to each team. Creating teams and then failing to give them the freedom and authority to make the decisions that allow them to accomplish their tasks in the most effective way is a little like teaching someone to ride a bike, giving them a fancy road racing bicycle, and then telling them they can only ride it in their bedroom. Yet, in many organizations, we see precisely this. Teams are created, but they are not given the power to make the decisions, implement, and bring about radical change. Each team needs a goal. If they don't have a goal, then they're going to be doing more damage than they're going to be helping, because there's no reason for them to be in a team if they aren't doing anything to work towards. This quote demonstrates that issue. The only point of having a team is to get a job done, a task completed, a set of objectives met. Building teams simply to have teams is likely to damage organizational functioning and encourage conflict, chronic anger, and disruption of the organization. Moreover, the tasks that teams perform should be tasks that are best performed by a team. For example, I was reading in the reading a little bit earlier that, for example, painting would be more of like a one-person job. You just assign each individual to a different area, and they can just paint however they want. But, for example, like getting a ship into the water, that has a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that need to happen around the same time. So teamwork would be necessary for a job like that. So if you're thinking about having a team-based organization, think about the type of job that you are about to accomplish and if it would benefit or be negatively impacted from a team.
There are several upsides that come from creating and using team-based organizations. Among these benefits is increased performance, greater efficiency, reduced costs, and team cohesion. Increased performances comes from the fact that people have a better idea of what they are doing when they're working with a team. Lone wolves can get a lot of work done, but most people tend to do better when they are working together, especially with good leadership. Additionally, people want to have a sense of self-worth and pride in their work. Team-based organizations help foster this feeling. Greater efficiency because people that work collaboratively tend to get the task done more efficiently. They're cliche phrases, but many hands make light work, and two heads are better than one are indeed true for a reason. Cost reduction to the company is a natural consequence of teams working efficiently and at greater performance. While penny pinching rarely, if ever, brings about any true savings for the company, throwing money at a problem doesn't tend to effectively solve a problem either. Keeping costs low allows the company to use their resources more effectively elsewhere, perhaps in raises. Team cohesion means that team members can develop good work relationships with each other, which contributes to the other positive factors. Google used team-based organizations. Their, quote, quest to build the perfect team highlighted research that demonstrated that people working in teams tend to innovate faster, achieve better results, and report higher job satisfaction. They also found that profitability is positively correlated with collaboration. By adopting a flatter, team based organizational structure, companies can share information rapidly to increase responsiveness, solve problems faster, and improve customer service, and ultimately boost the bottom line. End quote.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about some of the downsides of team-based organizations. And for the first one, um, most of the traditional hierarchical business structures use the incentive-based management styles, and the team-based approach can be very difficult to implement because everybody is supposed to have a say when taking decisions. So the decision-making process in the organization is placed on each individual, and this can cause a lot of stress because of the responsibility it gives them. And another problem with that is that team members that do not recognize the need for good communication and sometimes struggle with good communication can eventually drag the team down. Um, for the second downside, uh, is that just there's a lot of conflict potential within the team. If people simply don't get along or don't like each other, the team's probably not going to be as effective as a team that has good harmony and works together and gets along with each other. And because everyone thinks differently, it can be quite easy for people not to get along, which can cause some serious drawbacks to the team. And for the third downside is that some of the people who aren't good team players, they can harm the effectiveness of the team. And if a team member is just underperforming, they can simply hide behind the team by not doing as much work as they were supposed to, but still taking the credit for uh, a completed team project.
The implementation of a team-based organization will take time. It won't happen overnight. Complete implementation with more routine-based results can take up to 2 years. During this time, the team should constantly be evaluating their effectiveness, ensuring their objectives are clear and pertinent, and implementing changes and new plans as necessary. However, the effectiveness of teams makes this time worth it. Team networks are designed for speed, agility, adaptability, and flexibility. They are able to form and disband as projects and goals change. Information and knowledge is free-flowing between members that seek to help their team reach their goals. Those who value creativity will drive innovation. Those who value independence will work for long stretches without needing external motivation. Team members who value structure will provide a dependable cornerstone for the group, and problems are resolved much more quickly without having to go through higher channels.
If you want to learn more, here's a few sources with a few appropriate links that could be helpful for you.